I'm sitting in the Remembrance Garden just outside Abbey House, the cathedral offices, and I wanted to be here today because I've been thinking a bit about loss over the past few days. Part of the reason for that is because I've been watching Ricky Gervais's Afterlife on Netflix. Now, this comes with a health warning because it's very sweary. Some of its plot lines are very bawdy, but at its heart is a very powerful, beautifully written and acted study of human grief. Ricky Gervais has lost his wife, and it follows his journey through grief and bereavement and letting go into a new life. So if you can get beyond the bawdiness and the sweariness, it's beautiful and powerful and really worth watching. And it got me to thinking about loss and grieving in the current COVID-19 pandemic crisis. What have we lost as a world and a society and a church? And amidst this cry and call to return to normality, the recognition that we can't return to normality because things won't be the same as they were before this started. So what have we lost that we need to grieve for? What have we lost that we're quite glad to have lost? And what might be new and life-giving as we eventually emerge from lockdown and learn to live different? Anyone who's bereaved knows that their journey from now on is about learning to live different, because it won't be the same as it was before. And I wonder about those disciples in that period of time between crucifixion, resurrection and ascension of their rabbi, their teacher, their friend and brother and master. They had the bereavement of his arrest, trial, crucifixion, the loss of his physical presence. And then they had those strange dreamlike experiences of the resurrection. But then they had the experience of the ascension, that very strong sense of him leaving to return to the Father, so that they could become the church and do what they were called to do, which was to move from being disciples who sit at the foot of the Master and listen, to becoming apostles who are sent, gifted by the Spirit into the world. For them, there were things they had to let go of, dependencies they had to be prepared to move on from, so that they could become what they were called to be, the church. And I wonder what we have been losing in this time of lockdown. What's been sad to let go of, that we need to be honest about acknowledging. What's been new and different and good that we want to take with us into the post-lockdown world. And those questions are questions for the world, for the church, for individuals. But one thing is clear. We have to acknowledge what's gone. We have to be clear about that, because that's the only way in which we have a sense of containment, about being able to let go into a new life. And we have also to be reassured, I guess, that we continue to be accompanied on our journey. That on Ascension Day, which we celebrate this week on Thursday, we let go of the particular experience of Jesus and of the risen Christ, so that the universal experience of the universal, cosmic, eternal Christ can be something we experience in our hearts, in our minds, in our communities, in our church and in our world. So, question for you. What have you had to let go of over the past weeks and months? What do you grieve for? What can you let go of so as to allow something new to happen in and through you? What's to celebrate? What's to grieve?